Hey everybody, welcome to GDPG, where we play games, start game design, and we're playing Mega Man 2. One of your favorites, not your favorite though.
Not my favorite. I'm tossed. It's a toss probably between honestly probably Mega Man 6.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, Mega Man 6 brought in a lot of new elements that people just did not appreciate.
That's fair.
Cool. So Mega Man 2 though, there's amazing level design discussion.
Which is why we chose it in our voting for Enter the Gungeon, which you guys voted for, which is why we're playing it. I guess it's important to say that sometimes, because people might be like, why are you playing this random game?
Why are we doing this? Alright, so I don't think that necessarily he's the one you're supposed to start with. It's been a while since I played Mega Man 2, but Woodman has some simple discussion for his level design.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, this was the level that I started with when I bought it, and I was like, I'm just gonna dig around so I can see what Mega Man 2 is like. And as I was playing through this level, I was like, actually, there's a lot of really solid level design. I didn't know that 2 was like the staple for good design, or for good level design in Mega Man.
Yeah. I think, 3 was alright, then 4 got a little weird.
Oh? What does a little
4,
weird mean?
It just, like, some of its levels were hard, and, suddenly became incredibly unforgiving and didn't exactly teach the player. Like, so far, right, this has been fairly simple platform, or like just jumping, but like there's no real threat going on besides the enemies above me, and it's just kind of like a way to get the player moving.
Although there is a
carrots.
bit of interesting challenge when it comes to timing, since you know they don't actually reach down far enough for you to attack until you're within certain proximity.
Like one important thing about Mega Man in general is that it was one of the first games that, like, they decided to show the player the threat. Like, right, just right now, this guy shows up. I'm still on the ladder, so it's taking me a little bit of time to climb down, and he's sitting there shooting fire. This gives you plenty of time to
to realize that death is imminent.
Yeah, it'd be like, all right, I know how to respond to this guy, and then if I screw up, I get hurt.
Well, they even give you that little ledge there so that you could stay up there and shoot him.
You could technically just shoot straight over and then just jump on the occasion.
So this is like the super easy way to beat that guy. And then next
you fight him
cell,
for realsy.
Yeah, now it's a lot harder because it's like, oh, well, I don't have this little platform to keep me safe.
Which is why I actually jumped down there, because that's, it's practice essentially for.
And I totally lost what I was going to say, but
well done.
So it's also important that they don't like start you off in a position where you could be damaged by him.
Yeah.
Which is sadly something that happens in games way too often still. I'm just like, come on, guys. Rule 101 of level design is don't start off your player in a position that they could get injured.
You have to give them time to respond. You have to give them time. Not only means like time that the enemy would hit you, but also spacing. Just right here, just like a recap of what you dealt with before. They're very themes of the stages are important to them in Mega Man, and just about most of them. Maybe a little less with 4. Then again, I don't know why I'm crapping all over 4. 4 was weird though. It's like it also was the first one to introduce the charge mechanic. But
4 was?
4 was, but I think it was 4 or it was 5. I think it was 4, but it sucked. It was like you charge and it would deal twice as much damage as a pellet, so...
And twice as much really isn't enough to, like... Actually, it takes longer to charge to get to that point than it is to just shoot twice.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, sorry, I'm gonna go back here because this is important. So, right, we met the Monkey Man, and we start shooting at him, right? And then that bird shows up, and then we shoot the egg. Like, that's just a thing. They're introducing one enemy for the second time, so you're like, oh, this guy's about to jump up here. I'm gonna start shooting at him.
Yeah.
And then the egg comes down, giving you time to shoot it, and be like, oh, I don't know what I just shot.
But you realize that you can shoot it.
Yep. And then that time, it comes out of nowhere. Well, lucky me. It comes out of nowhere. It's very fast. It doesn't give you much time to shoot it, so that you can see what happens if you actually fail at hitting it.
Now, do you think that it's bad that you could just kind of stay up there and farm, like, resources out of those birds?
Actually, I think that it's important that in Mega Man's they gave you the ability to do that, because for newer players who aren't very good at the game, like I'm not even doing very well right now, but to newer players of the game who aren't very good, it gives them something that they can, like it takes time and it takes a little bit of luck.
Yeah, even if it's not the most fun thing in the world, it at least means that they can make it through the stage. Probably, maybe, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. It gives them that little bit of a buffer there so they can, if they feel like getting extra lives or health back up. Pretty common tactic.
What color are those carrots?
Same color as it, like
So like
beach
magenta?
pink. Yeah. So just then, notice how like I didn't have to kill the rabbit. They set it up to where I could just jump over him. And the importance of that is that a lot of players don't realize in Mega Man, you don't have to kill all of your enemies. In fact, especially in Mega Man X's and stuff, walked too far on that one. Especially on, notice like he couldn't hit me there. So
I really like that though, that you don't actually have to kill all the enemies, because especially for this time era too, where I feel like most games expected you to pretty much kill every enemy you encounter.
This one's just like, you just gotta get through the stage. Right, if you kill them, you get the chance for a drop, but
even the level design there too was like, it is very clearly easier to just jump over this guy than to actually fight him.
Yeah, absolutely. they're like giving it home to like, if you try to shoot, you're just gonna get hit. Probably about 2 or 3 times. Alright, so we're facing off against Woodman, who's a bitch. Notice he has his barrier, and then he shoots it out at you. And then he drops the leaves from the ground, but he leaves himself vulnerable afterward. So it's actually a bit of a waiting game and an endurance match. A lot of bosses will have that. And notice how he's getting closer to him. So closer to me, the longer this match goes on, the more danger I'm in.
Ooh. Oh, and you were so close.
Yeah. So the way I look at Mega Man is most of the time when you get to the boss the first time, you're pretty injured. So the first time you fight the boss, you're injured. So it's all about learning what their moves are going to be. That way, the next time you fight them the second time around, you're ready. Like you know what they can do, and then you're probably going to get out of this fight.
Now, when you run out of lives in Mega Man, is it just total game over, or does it bring you back to the level select?
It gives you the choice of going back to level select or to try again, but you have to go back to the very beginning.
Okay, but it's not like, oh, you have to go back to, like, you have to re-enter a code to, like, load all your data back again. No,
it'll keep playing from that moment, which is very nice. However, if you do turn the game off, then you're gonna have to enter a password to start over.
Yeah, back when they didn't even really believe in saving in cartridges, although they might not have had the storage capacity for that.
I really don't think they did, considering it's like enemies disappear the moment they're no longer on the screen.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, boy. So, the invincibility, like when you get attacked, the invincibility in Mega Man is extraordinarily important because it's one of those, kind of like in Mario, you get hurt, and like if you have mushroom, you get hurt, you're invincible, run. Just go. Just go through. Like you have that
if it's going to give you that slight upper hand after you are not invincible, then it's probably worth it.
Absolutely. Get equipped with Leaf Shield.
Leaf Shield, which is one of Mega Man's classic moves. So much so that was in Smash Bros, wasn't it?
It was in Super Smash Bros. A lot of it, I think. Most of the abilities in Smash Brothers were from this one.
Oh, really? Oh, that's kind of cool.
Let's see, there's Crash Man's ability. There was Metal Man's ability. And I think technically Heat Man's, although his might have not been from Mega Man 2, it might have been from a different Mega Man. There's like a fire boss in just about every Mega Man stage. And definitely Airman because of the little hurricane.
Yeah, okay.
Although that was also in Mega Man X4, technically. Yeah, whatever. So, yeah, they used a lot of from Mega Man 2, because it was the classic one. It was one of the ones that really helped Nintendo.
I always found it interesting, this is a little off topic, but I always found it interesting that choosing your first stage in Mega Man games is almost always the hardest part, aside from, like, anything leading up to Dr. Wily. Because it's like, you don't have the boss's weaknesses yet, and you have to just go through it with your bare bones. So it's like it's not always very obvious what's going to be the easiest level.
Oh, absolutely, especially because some of them are weird. Look at this, like Heat Man's probably good against Woodman.
Right, I think they did better in Exit in making that a little more obvious, because it's like, you could look at all these and be like, Bubble Man, he's probably weak sauce.
Yeah.
And like me as a designer, I would probably make the easiest one the top uppermost left, the first one that you're most likely
give you some indication.
Yeah,
they don't do that at all.
And
any of them.
They did that in Mighty Number 9 actually, because in Mighty Number 9 you can choose any level, but the first 2 you're supposed to do level 1, level 2, and then like level 5, 4. But it's like most players are probably going to choose the first one to start things off. So it only makes sense to be nice to the player and be like, all right, here's the first level. It's the easiest. Then you can figure it out from there.
As I said, I don't actually remember who the first one you're supposed to play is. So it could have been Bubble Man. I don't really know.
But you did Woodman pretty well. When I was testing out this game too, I did Woodman first because I was like, Woodman, sounds like a chump, and then I got my ass handed to me. But
he just requires a little bit of timing. Some of the bosses are incredibly Airman. I hate Airman. I hate everything about Airman. He's a dick. But that's about all the time we have for today.
Yeah, we are at time. All right, well, that's all for this episode. You want to ask a question of the day?
Yes. What other techniques could Mega Man 2 have used to help teach the player about the levels as they played them?
Yeah, they could have probably done a lot more than just be like, maybe it's this first one, or that sounds weak.
Rise, and then it drops, and some bats. I'm sure that's not what they were thinking. But yeah, what'd you think?
Well, thanks for watching, everyone. We hope to see you in the comment section below. And if you want us to keep playing Mega Man 2, which I doubt we're going to finish it in this playthrough because it's going to be kind of a short one today, vote for it because we'll play more. We'll make this guy face Dr. Wily and the Yellow Devil and be angry.
Wily's a chump. It's all about the Yellow Devil.
Bye, everyone.
Adios.